podcast. I'll start recording when we're ready. So we finally fixed this shit. Okay. I need to run the camera. Hey, look, our camera's finally moving.
Oh, that's sick. Holy hell.
I know, we have a studio with no followers. I mean, our only best friend is a titty.
It's true.
Oh, oddly...
And even he's pissed, man.
Well, I think he's staring at you with like, do I want to tap this?
He's angry.
Well, you should go ahead and play that music now.
He's angry. Is it?
Yeah.
It's showing?
Mm-hmm.
We're goody? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to press record here.
Straight into it.
Where's my beverage? What are you drinking? Awesome. Well, welcome to the Bar Top Podcast, people.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it short this time. Podcast is brought to you by Jinx Productions, the Jukebox Bar, and For Your Sequel Tattoo.
Hell yeah.
Woo.
Hell yeah.
Today we have myself, James.
Mr. James is joining us.
And then
As well as Mr. Chris Castillo.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm that guy.
the sole proprietor of the
And
Jukebox.
we have here a special guest today, Mr. Nicholas Tamayo of Cannon the Dealers.
Woo, yeah. Yeah, man.
welcome to the show, my dude. How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourselves?
I'm tired, but actually, today's actually been a pretty decent day. I'd say today's been a decent
I had
day.
a case of the Mondays today.
It's all good. It's all
It was
good.
one of those Monday mornings I woke up and I contemplated life at my computer and just, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, fuck.
Dude, actually, that was me yesterday. I was just writing contracts for clients. And
Fuck contracts.
I hate doing contracts, but it needs to get done. Otherwise, I don't get like a guaranteed payment,
Damn.
That's a big deal.
That's
is
a
a
huge
big
deal. So, Nick of Canada Dealers. It's funny because I just learned about you, and I listen to a lot of your music, and a lot of it's actually my cup of tea, honestly.
Thank you.
I'm into the hard indie genre kind of feel. I like the varying voice attributes that get thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
You do have a good voice for it,
Yep.
especially with that fry that you have in some of your songs. It's
You
really,
come through with
It's very
character.
tasteful. It adds a lot of depth, which is really cool, and it gives me more character to the songs that you have.
Thank you.
Which is what I think is really awesome about it.
Yeah. That all comes from like growing up with like a lot of metal music around me and stuff like that. Like my vocal fry never got it like perfect, but I think I got it like good enough to a point where like it's made its way into the vocals.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely the live shows for sure.
You definitely have a style with that fry. You really do.
Yeah, I mean that's just being in the valley, dude. Like all these metal bands and shit that like it's not that what's it called? Just that we have to play with them sometimes, and we do love playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
But just that energy, being an indie band in the valley, we had to like get ready. Like, how do we go after the most hardcore metal band here? And then it's like, okay, maybe if we had a vocal fry and turn up the distortion live, people will fuck with it. And so that's where that kind of comes from.
I was going to ask, when you're in the studio for the recordings, because I've seen a couple of your live shows, and you do have it there.
Yeah.
But do you add any extra in the recording booth? Like, do they add more drive or any kind of
Definitely saturation. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, okay, I can hear it naturally in the show, but I'm like, there's something a little different in the recording, but then again, that's what it's for. It's for the best possible, best possible outcome.
You gotta build that room.
Exactly. It's saturation and double mic doubling and stuff.
I like
that.
the fact that your music's very balanced too. Like, there's nothing sticks out. Like, I hear the bass, I hear the guitars, I hear the drums, I hear the voice, and it's not like someone who's like really a nitpicker. I've seen like I listen to a lot of bands, and don't get me wrong, it's like yes, let someone shine, but like, it seems like you all seem to really balance each other out as best as possible.
Yeah, and there's no room for like nitpicking. I think if you nitpick, you steal the soul out of the song. Not to sound like an asshole.
No, you're right.
You're not wrong.
But think of like your favorite songs ever. Like by production standards today, they might be considered trash. You know, people tell me, oh, sometimes I can't hear the vocals on your songs. I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. I don't know what Julian Casablancas is saying in Half the Stroke songs. You know what I mean? I can't make out a single word in some of my favorite songs. Some of my favorite songs sound like they're recorded on a fucking iPhone, and I still bump it.
There's actually a band I listen to called you know what? I'm realizing it kind of gives you the same vibe. I was like, why does your band sound so familiar to me? And it's one of the bands I do like called Master System.
Okay.
Which you should check them out. Unfortunately, they only put
Definitely
out one.
will.
They only put out one album before the lead singer had passed.
That's how you know they were fucking good, though.
Yeah.
Those bands with one album,
Well,
it's just
well, it's not
tragic. Tragic what happened to
it
the
was
singer.
tragic,
Yeah,
but it's because he had another band who also kind of did the same thing, and I guess he wanted an outlet because if you listen to his original works from Frightened Rabbit, which is his original band, it's very more melancholic, very calm, and very very somber. And I know you have some songs like that too.
Yeah.
And then when he made Master System, it gave me another feeling like you have with Blurry, which was a little more on the harder side, a little more let loose, and he would let loose on that album for Master System, which is really cool. And I'm getting that same vibe because he also, because when he was in Frightened Rabbit, it was more calm, very nice, smooth voice. And then when it came to this one, he was letting it, he was belting it out.
You just reach a point where you just like, okay, let's try something a little different. You know, like the live shows, the vocals had been more aggressive, but I realized we didn't have a recording with those types of vocals. I was like, I'm doing it live, but you know what? Fuck it, let me do it on a record. And so that's how we got that.
It really does show your range, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. I'm a movie guy, so especially like when I see actors who are typecasted, it bothers me because I'm like, give them a chance.
Yeah, man.
And then when I see singers, it's like, I'll go, like, an example for me would be like Corey Taylor. And I know he's like uber famous, but he still has a decent range.
Oh, dude, Corey Taylor.
He goes from insane, crazy screaming his lungs out to, okay, now he's singing this very somber thing in Bother from Stone Sour. Like,
I mean, he could be singing, right, like Sick from Self-Titled, or he can be singing something like Snuff. You know, on the same cells, which is fucking wild.
Vermilion Part 2.
Exactly.
Or maybe was it? Nah, you know what? I was gonna say like what was it? What was that one? Fuck. No, I'm gonna skip over.
Well,
that.
you know what? Even then, I realize now you're pointing it out there. There are so soft songs where he even tries to throw it on. He has that little fry. Yep. He's not even going full growl or anything.
He's mastered like whatever the fuck I'm trying to do. I think Corey Taylor is the master of like that clean raspiness and dude, I'm surprised he hasn't fucked his voice.
You know who I think has trouble.
But hey, you can get away with it at that point.
Yep.
I want to add to the list who I think he was like David Draymond.
Okay.
Of
Disturbed.
Of Disturbed when he did Sound of Silence. When he did Sound of Silence. Especially when he's in his low.
Hey man, there's nobody else that can pull that shit off. You can't just like scat.
Yeah.
Wait, nah, I'm not gonna try it. You seen that video? There's like a compilation video where there's like, you get
lead singer of Korn.
The what?
The lead singer from Korn.
The lead singer from Korn, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. Never mind. There's fucking Jonathan Davis and David Draymond scatting it out like.
Well, he didn't scat. He like.
That's a beatbox.
He like growled beatbox and fucking Freak on a Leash.
Yeah.
Like
I call it a scat.
Have you?
I would count that as a scat.
I haven't had a chance to look at the entirety of your discography, but do you have songs that haven't been put out that have an even harsher side to them? Because I noticed that Blurry is a good balance. It's a beautiful balance between, very in the moment, very emotional, and then get very passionate in that during the verse, during the choruses and so on.
The key to all that shit is just the chords that we were using on that song. That was just like, again, like been dabbling with like shoegaze a little bit more as it's, kind of grown.
Oh, yeah.
And like I have homies that have been like, oh, you got to check out like Whir and stuff like that. And being from the Valley, there's always just like a lot of love for Glare. And I love Glare too. And just like trying to like learn their songs and stuff like that and fuck around with like Whir, I picked up on some of those chords and I was like, oh, okay, you could kind of shift this here and there, like a weird, like I think it's like a triad thing. I'm not sure. I think it's a
I have a thing for like
chord.
dissonant chords.
I think, is it like a diminished like dissonant?
There's like diminished, suspended, there's different ones that where the chords will
ones. You can do them
clash.
just with the three note.
Yeah.
A 9-chord minor 9.
I think that's the one I'm using on.
Like a lot of jazz chords. Where
Yeah,
there's a lot
yeah.
of dissonance
Usually
in the
like-
notes.
And I'm like over here doing the shape. Like, that one.
It's like you're playing shoegaze when your hand looks like a bass player trying to play a chord.
Yeah.
Up
That's
the
what it
scale.
feels like,
It's
man.
like, okay, there we go. It's like I'm spreading it out. It's like
He's
okay,
spreading it out.
I'm sorry. I have an opinion that bass players make their wives very happy because they can spread their fingers.
Just go that wide. They go that extra mile. But yeah, that song definitely has a balance. I'm not sure if we have what's it called? A more yeah, we do. In the chamber, I'm not sure if they'll get released, but I know that there's been some songs we've tried with not full on vocal fries, but definitely playing with that up close vocal, to the mic saturation type of deal.
That's
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I've always loved the idea. Like, we've talked about this before, where I have a thing for effects when it comes to vocals and instrumentals. I love reverb. Reverb is
Fuck yeah.
like that's my home. That's
Uh-huh.
where I gotta play. Like reverb on like the low notes of a piano just
Oof.
is a beautiful sound. And it just gets me thinking. Like I'm a movie
Cheers.
guy. I'm a video guy. Just the sound of
The
a
feather on
Just the
fucking
hit.
Forrest Gump.
no. I'm thinking more like a Hans Zimmer
Hans
low
Zimmer.
low
Oh.
piano and just letting it ring and reverberate through the building. The kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
sound.
yeah.
But what I was getting to is that we've had this conversation about buying one of those telephone microphones.
Oh, dude, I fucking want one of those so bad.
Dude, I actually made one.
Oh,
So I bought.
hold on. We got to turn and look directly at it and take notes. Okay.
No,
go ahead.
they're super easy to make. Like I'm not handy or crafty at fucking all.
Get to the point.
Basically, you buy one of those vintage phones. You
Okay.
can find them like on Etsy or somewhere, Amazon.
Bro, I have one because we still have the rotary phone that my
they're
grandmother
super
owned.
easy to make.
I have it. We have the
Okay,
rotary.
so
I'm not
phone.
sure if you'd want to tear
Don't
that
stop
one
him.
up.
Don't stop him. Let's see.
I'm not sure if you'd want to tear that one up because that one sounds a little more vintage. This one was some piece of crap I found on
Okay,
Etsy.
okay, go ahead.
It's
Go to the
not
flea
like
market. Go to the
yeah,
flea market.
it's not like a family heirloom or like it belongs to like
Look at the one that
grandma.
she created. Hello? Yes.
So I think you connect an XLR to one of the ends. Can't remember exactly how I did it, but my soldering wasn't great. But I remember I had it fucking working, dude. It was working when we played Dankfest right out here, and the problem is we had to turn it off because it doesn't have a switch on it, right?
Okay.
But it is so prone to feedback
Oh, I
because it is just a
bet.
saturation fucking machine. So if you have any distorted guitar, yeah, dude. Like, if any fucking guitar you turn on a rat pedal and that thing's fucking high gain, never mind, dude. It's gonna, and the mic next to it was getting fucked. So you have to trust the sound guy to like know the songs, or when you're not close to it, turn it the fuck
Like
off.
a hot fucking like a hot
Whoa.
rail just being set free on a fucking guitar.
Yeah. So, but I've seen there's other versions that you can buy online.
No, there are,
Yeah,
but there's
yeah.
like one is like 300, 400 bucks.
I don't think they go that high, but I know they're definitely in the 150 range for sure.
I want to know, like, I got to look around because, like, I've been trying to get my DAW back up, and I want to do some recordings of some of the songs I have.
There's
And I've been looking into getting, like, some kind of, like, I tried to do it with one of the songs I've done, which is I just up the distortion and lower the decibel level so that way I can balance it out.
Uh-huh.
Because I know once you boost the gain, it goes crazy.
Yeah.
But I was trying to boost it to where it distorts it enough, but doesn't make it, like, how can I put this? Going back to Corey Taylor, similar to, like, the Vermilion sound to it.
Yeah, and you definitely have to balance out that style with the guitar. So that's one of the things that's funny about Blurry. And it's badass we're talking about this. I love this so fucking much. It brings out the production nerd in me. Dude, like, it sounds clean, but to get to that was an EQing fucking hell and effects hell, because we just put on a guitar VST and just let that shit rip. But when you have the distorted guitars, the crunchiness on that, the first demos of Blur, you can't even understand what the fuck I'm saying, because it's all just crashing in the same frequencies. Yeah, exactly. And the voice was sounding like a guitar itself. So it was just like becoming a hell. I can't remember exactly what we did. I remember we had to switch up the style of distortion, cut back on a lot of the highs, because the highs were they were just fucking all over the place. So we kind of got savage with it. Just on the master, I was like, fuck this shit, man. I just fucking cut a bunch of the highs. I was like, does that sound tolerable? Yeah, it did. And that's how we fucking left it, bro. That was a savage move that I know a lot of.
You ever love it when you have to become your own engineer?
Yeah, dude. I fucking love it, man. But I know there's a lot of engineers that would have, like, been disgusted with that move that I pulled.
We had a friend, and he does do audio engineering as a side gig, but it's not like his main thing. He's a teacher. He lives in San Antonio. He's actually a buddy of mine. You've never met him.
I don't know the guy.
No, you don't. He doesn't have it coming. He doesn't like publish it. Like, people just run into him and they go, "Hey, we'll pay you to do this." Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
He goes and does it because he does his own music. He doesn't like to play live. He's like me, but better, because he's better at his music.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at here is, I lost train of thought.
Uh-oh.
Is San Antonio.
I got drunk.
Something.
I got drunk.
Engineering.
It's a side hustle.
You had me thinking about, like, oh, it's just a guy that does stuff, and it reminded me that there's in one of these. I still haven't found them, guys, but in one of these shops here in downtown, there's a little Chinaman in the back closet that'll fix all your wiring and your cords.
Okay.
You can take him to him, but you got to find him first. He's at the back of a shop.
I retract my point. What he does when he works with his bands is unlike let's say like a director on a set of a movie who's like super high tense, like fucking like Stanley Kubrick.
Okay.
He will not really take anything. He knows what he wants and he's gonna get it.
Okay.
If you fuck with him, he's gonna give you shit. Okay. But versus, say, my friend, this
Daddy
engineer,
knows what he wants.
It's like, you have an idea, throw it at me, and we'll try to make it happen.
Yeah.
And he'll say, like, okay, if he thinks your album is worth it, and he'll listen to you, you'll be like, all right, you know what, let's try it.
Yeah.
You want to try this? Here, come over here. Let's try this. Like, he'll just work with you and try to find that balance for you. But I don't know if he does it anymore, because I haven't talked to him in a while. He's one of those guys that has like a really bad anxiety issue. He doesn't socialize very well, even as a teacher. He just does his job and then goes home.
I imagine that's not a good mix at all.
High school.
That's definitely water and oil.
Yeah, so it's like, but no, I
have a passion, but I don't pursue it.
Because if you don't mind plugging, who was your engineer, or did you do it yourself?
It was us in-house.
So you did it yourself?
My bedroom.
That's badass.
Okay, you're the.
Hey, that's always badass. There's a lot of fucking badass recordings that come out like that. Those garage recordings, those home recordings.
I think you're the third artist to come on here that's told us that they've done their own recordings. Like, what the first one was Chemical Casket. They did their own one.
So a lot of the badass bands that I love and respect from, that we've gotten to play with, shout out to Joe Martin for getting us in that lineup in like Tiger's Blood and Volume Surge, all those badass Valley promoters. They've gotten us to meet some of the people that I really fucking respect. Like, I've loved their music since I was in like high school or college and shit. And I've talked to them, like, it's a blessing to get to ask them, like, oh, like, how'd you produce this fucking song? They're like, oh, dude, ourselves. I was like, did you outsource it for like mastering, engineering? They're like, oh, hell no. I was like, why? Oh, they'll fuck it up. They're like, I don't trust them. They're like, dude, and I've heard this a lot, is that they're like, they care more about having the product done the right way in terms of like, the numbers, and
like the standard quo that they use, like it's like industry standard.
Yeah, and it's fucking weird because sometimes and we've had a good luck with an engineer in the past, but sometimes we had differences on songs, and that's part of it. But so we just kind of went our way. But even then, I still have love for him. But it was still like, he had his one way of seeing music, and we had another way of seeing it. But even then, just aside from that, like, I've heard of engineers saying like, well, you can't do that. What the fuck does that mean? You can't do that? Like, dude, Like, fucking do it.
I came here for you to fucking record it.
Yeah.
And fucking put it together. Like,
Yeah, like they can say, this is an interesting choice, you know, and help you get better results, or be like, well, maybe I kind of recommend this. But don't tell someone you can't fucking do that. Dude, I mean, come on, bro. What if, like, again, I use the Strokes as a good fucking example. I love that band to my fucking grave. It's like, what if they told fucking Julian Casablancas, you can't fucking put distortion on your vocals? Like, you know? Yeah. What if they told Fab Moretti, like, oh, you have to use 8 drum mics. You can't just use fucking 3 and call it a day. Like, no, it completely fucks up the sound, man. Yeah. It takes away that vintage sound. And that's what makes it a lovable album. You could say that about so many albums with fucked up vocals, fucked up producing, dude. So, like, yeah, I think there's a good reason to learn how to produce yourself, so you can learn how to get the product that you fucking want.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. But say for example, I'm assuming you've been doing this before you were in a band.
How long has Canon the Dealers been around?
Canon the Dealers has been around, way before my day. So I'm not the original singer. Canon was, okay, fuck it. We'll go back to the original, very beginning. The beginning of time. So I believe Luis and Tony, those are the drummers. That's a drummer and the bassist. They were jamming together. And then I think they started hanging out with our buddy Jesus. And then Jesus, I think a guy named Devin joined the band. Yes, Devin was there. I think I'm getting it right. And then they recruited Juan. Devin went off to college, and then they got a guy named Julio. They got a guy named Julio who was the singer. He was more of a singer-rapper. He was a rapper more than anything. And then Julio left, and so that's when I hit up Luis, because believe it or not, we met each other through fucking church, which is funny.
I knew him from high school.
You knew him from high school?
We were in band together.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a funny clip I'll have to show you after this of him on his snare as a freshman.
You have to show me that. I will remind you.
He's watching this going, oh shit.
I'm gonna remind you of that. And so I hit him up. I was like, let me jam with your band. And
dude, he's a good drummer.
He's a great fucking drummer.
He's a talent on its own. And
super, man.
And just a really good personality.
And just like his personality, his attitude, it's just such a wonderful thing to have him in the band and shit. It's a wonderful thing they let me in the band, right? And so I was like, I don't know why I'm like, oh yeah, he's a good guy. Like, so I'm glad they let me in. And
he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, man. What murder? But yeah, and so that's kind of how we ended up with this lineup. Jesus and Juan eventually they left, and then we recruited Lane. He's named after Lane Staley. That was one of the first things we asked him. And I remember we saw him years ago doing a cover. He was in a cover band. They were playing at Half Moon Saloon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and and we hit him up out of nowhere, and I was like, I think we've met this guy before. And I remember we were drunk one night, and we didn't heckle him, but he was playing a song. We're like, what was that? And he was like, Jimmy World. We're like, that was in the middle. And he remembers that.
That's
You'll always remember that.
Yeah.
Is that a story that's gonna end up being told on like an interview when you guys like get out there? It's like, so how did you guys meet? Oh,
you didn't play the middle. But he said it was Jimmy World, so I was like, the fuck?
Jimmy who?
Jimmy who?
So it's just been a lot of in and outs trying to like piece it together as time went on. Like, how long has the current band been?
The current band has been 2-ish years. I think it's been 2-ish years, just about. And I mean, times move fucking fast, man. And definitely when you have like new members and a loss of members and stuff. I also didn't play the guitar in the beginning. I would just sing. But now that I'm playing the guitar and stuff like that, You know, I guess like being the producer, I'm more locked in on the tones and stuff. I think it's just a producer thing, you know, like I'm very fucking nitpicky about what's coming out of my rhythm guitar, you know. So I think that's helped, and Lane's a great guitarist too, so you know, he brings his own style of a lead guitarist that's worked, and he sings backup. We didn't always have a backup. Like nobody kind of wanted to sing back.
There's not a whole lot of bands that do backup.
No,
singers.
it's hard to find motherfuckers that want to sing backup, dude. You're lucky to find a good guitarist, but a motherfucker that's a good guitarist and a backup, oof.
Yeah.
That's a lot of your
You got a needle in a haystack right there.
Yeah.
Especially down here, because like I said, there's not a lot of bands that do backup singers.
Fuck no, dude. I don't know why everybody's afraid, man.
I don't think it's their fault. I don't think it's their fault. I don't think so. I think they just have it just hasn't popped to them that they probably can.
I think that's exactly what it is, because right now I think that you guys like sound extremely full.
Yeah.
You got so many things going on.
Mm-hmm. Because Lane is locked us the fuck in. Like he came in and he was the most professional out of all of us, because I mean he comes from that cover band background, and like those guys are very serious with the way their sound is, their gear.
They're trying to match up as best they can and pay tribute to the songs that they're covering.
Exactly, and Lane's he turned us into that more professional band, like, oh yeah, we are gonna run the bass of DI, and we're like, the fuck is that? and he was like, Nick, maybe you should try like cutting him and stuff. I'm like, why? But he's made us a way more professional sounding band. So Lane brought his own you know, flair to things, and so we really love him for that.
So how do you all gel together in figuring out that sound that you have now? Because you just mentioned that you, being in the producer side, is really worried about how you sound. And how do you figure sounding as a group in the studio? Like, how do you get that going?
So the way that works is, you know, a lot of bands have their own way of doing things. You know, sometimes they have jam sessions, like Red Hot Chili Pepper style, right? Jam the fuck out.
Gimme.
Yeah, they'll jam the fuck out and just be like, okay, cool, that was a good one. Well, we found best what works for us, right? And especially, you know, just my inner songwriter and singer and stuff like that is, and I'm at the advantage of knowing how to fully produce a song. So if I have like something in my head, I'm able to like play a drum loop. Okay, start working some chords over it, and just like the way we're sitting here, just kind of, and then I figured out chords and a chorus sort of that works, and then then you just add a bass line onto it and stuff. So I kind of bring somewhat of a complete idea to the guys, but then they go back and they say, okay, let's flare up that bass line, let's go ahead, make these adjustments to the drums, let's go ahead and like add this type of solo and these type of leads and stuff like that. So I bring them a skeleton, and these guys go in and add the meat and the bones.
That's badass.
Yeah.
That is badass. I write the skeletons in my band, but sometimes it's like to get that meat in the bones. Like I'm like, I don't ever like to overstep, but sometimes I got to overstep.
Yeah.
But that sounds amazing that you guys are able to just get together like that.
Yeah, and we're really we're really healthy about like how we do. We're really healthy about like the communications and stuff like that. Like if we have like disagreements on a certain like baseline, you know what I mean, and be like, well, I think it should sound like this, but you know, it's like this, and I'll explain like my purposing, but it's like, give me yours too, and then we'll try to meet each other in the middle like that.
Do you ever get anybody in the band be like, nope, can't do that one. That was already done.
Yeah, but
like,
but
nope, strokes or
but you know what? It's we've learned how to communicate with each other in a really healthy manner, which I think is something a lot of bands fucking lack sometimes,
it's true.
man.
I believe it.
You can't just go in and be like, I fucking hate that. That's where it comes in, like, well,
it's good, just not for this. Like,
explain your reasoning.
I'll be like, hang on to that, but maybe not for this song, but hang on to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that, you can definitely do that. Like, be like, hey, man, it's not a bad idea. Or you could also be like, maybe it's not working now, but let's keep it on the side. That way, maybe if we need something.
Just take a note.
Take a note. Like, no idea is a bad idea. And, but it's also like, if you're super defensive, like you said, right? If you like, we can't do that note, explain fucking why you can't do that note.
That's my shit. If you cannot explain why we should not play that and completely convince me, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, and it's never gonna be a fuck you, but it'll be like, okay, like I see where you're coming from. Or there's been times I've switched over and I'll be like, oh, okay, like fuck it. I guess if I feel like, or if everybody's like, nah, like let's go with that. All right, fuck it. Maybe I'm in the wrong.
I've gotten some of my riffs. Like, I shit you not, you can't make this shit up. I'm playing something like, oh, I'm tremolo picking. He's like, nope, that's from Prince. That's from Prince. I'm like, what part? Show me. And then we go back. It's like Little Red Corvette. Like,
yeah.
It had nothing to do with this song. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and then, no.
No, man, inspiration just sometimes seeps its way in. And
it was not Prince.
It wasn't Prince. It was original.
It was original, goddamn.
And so the guys, they're really good about, we're all just really good about healthy communication and staying on the same page and stuff like that. And we've realized, that's how most bands do their writing. A lot of people like to be like, oh, maybe it's like the way it was in Bohemian Rhapsody where everybody, it's like, it's not true, dude. Yeah. Any of your favorite bands, there's always going to be like a guy, maybe there's multiple guys, but they all bring like 60%, 70% written songs. And then they just let the band change additional things, man.
Let's tweak it.
Yeah.
I usually like it because, I only make music for myself because I'm the only one who jams with myself. But I assume you all do the same kind of feel.
This guy on the fucking mic and just play. He plays.
Yeah.
He fucking plays.
So fuck yeah, man.
But so going back to the point. You're making me blush. No. Coming up with a different idea because every time if I'm at home and I'm just playing, I'm at home with a looper and a bunch of pedals. That's all I got.
That's how everybody does it, from what I've taught.
And I'm just smacking my guitar to get whatever percussive sounds I can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there. I've written songs with a mandolin. I've written songs with a synth. I've written songs with whatever. But what ends up being an issue is what else can I do and get a little experimental in changing the tone, the sound, the feel, the vibe, etc. I know you guys could do that because I've seen what you have, and it really varies between each song, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
As you mentioned Queen, it's like, yeah, there's always the one person that's going to really fight back to it, but there's still going to be someone who's like, no, I know what we're looking for. I know what this needs, and maybe it's okay to listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've learned everybody's playing style more or less. I know, what the guys are interested in doing musically, right? So I've kind of figured out where their interests lie in certain songs and stuff like that. So I don't really write for myself when I'm writing songs. I write with, their intentions and stuff like that. And I know what they're expecting and stuff like that. So I think that's why it's gotten easier for me to present them songs, and that's why the success rate is higher. Just that's because
cool. You got that musical convincing.
I know what they like, dude. Like, we've slept together in hotels. We've fucking been friends for fucking years. Yeah. We've played together. I know what they hate. I know what they like. So
you slept together?
We've slept together. We have slept together on beds. Yes, believe it or not, bands have shared beds. Can you believe that?
Hey, Titi, what do you think of this? What's Titi?
It's preposterous. I don't know.
Preposterous.
I don't know what kind of voice he has, but
I promise you, everything looks really good with those two kids.
Yeah, no, when you're in a band.
That band is amazing. You should hear them play over at the Kraken sometime soon.
I would agree.
Oh, yeah, you got some shows coming up, man.
We do. May 17th, that's actually this Saturday at the Kraken with our fucking homies and Floats, dude. Oh, my God. Floats is a fucking badass surf punk, indie, It's such unique fucking music. The production is so unique. But man, those guys are fucking talented. They're, really known. When you talk about the indie scene in Texas, you have to mention them. Anybody who knows what's going on in Texas, if you're really tapped in with the music scene, at least indie, Floats is one of those big fucking names. Even in California, dude, these guys, they're not afraid to get in their fucking car. I think it's wild. They'll get in their fucking car, drive to California, and they have no concern for the fucking mileage on their car at all. Dude, they will add 3,200 miles and act like nothing fucking happened. They were doing a tour run over in Cali not too long ago, a headline tour in Cali. Every show looked fucking better than the next. Wow. Wilder, dude. I think they sold out a couple. And those guys, man, their hustle and their DIY, like, go fuck yourself, we're gonna rock and do our shit, man, it's so inspiring, and I'm glad that we all get to call them our friends and stuff like that. I think it's really good to keep good company and inspiring company around you. Even the people they hang out with, like fucking Vinny and Night Rituals, man. He's another one of our homies. He plays Darkwave. He's come to McAllen a few times. I'm hoping he gets to make the trip down to Brownsville. We would have loved to have him on the 17th show, but he's doing a tour in Mexico right now. Dang. And but man, Vinny is also a fucking hustler, dude. So I love those guys so much, man. They're very inspiring in that sense. So I'm glad we get to play with them in Brownsville, and we also get to play with the young bloods in Inhibition. Oh,
dude, Inhibition's good.
They played here last time with us at the EP release.
Yeah, they played, and I'm like, where did these guys come from? Like,
oh, dude, man, they stay so fucking quiet. Arnold, I think he's somewhere from 18 or maybe 19 to like 21. He's a young guy, regardless. But dude, his production is fucking on point, bro. Like, it impressed me. Both again, Inhibition and Floats. That's why I love talking with them.
I got one of their CDs that night, and I was just like, whoa, this is like this is pro.
Bedroom producer too, man. Bedroom producer. Same thing with Floats. And I've always told Mark, he's the singer in Floats and the producer, I'm like, dude, your shit is so unique. If you put on one of his songs, he just has this consistent production style that you could show me a new song and I could tell you right away if it was him, just based off the tones alone. And I'm like, that's fucking magical, dude. Like listening to like a Carlos Santana guitar, like you just know that's his guitar playing. Not even the style that he's playing, just a fucking note you're hearing, like, yeah, that's a motherfucker with the PRS through a Dumble. But again, Floats has that same, you just hear the first 4 seconds, you're like, that's Floats production right there. So I think that's definitely something that's impressed me.
I'm going to have to look into that because I need to get my hand on the pulse right now.
Yeah, man, for real. So, I mean, if you have a chance, come out to that show. That's going to be a stacked fucking show. I'm going to be playing bass for Floats on that one, so I'm really excited for that one, dude.
As a musician, do you float around with some of the instruments you mess with along with your own personal one?
Guitar, singing, drums is my main instrument, actually.
Oh, really?
Okay. I would have never known.
I'm mainly a drummer.
You were an indie Dave Grohl.
I'm mainly a drummer, man. I'm mainly a drummer. If you can play guitar, you can play bass, Am I crazy with it? Am I going to fucking start like slapping and going all over? No. But you know what? I know how to create some dissonance and follow the root notes and shit like that.
Oh, I'm fucking terrible at that. I miss my bass since I sold it.
Oh, man. Nah, dude.
That's another thing, especially with a band, because I know just being in a band in itself is expensive. It's like, how do you keep about just keeping it going, even when, like, especially right now with the harder times?
How
do you keep on going,
dude? So many motherfuckers like always miss this tip, and this is my biggest advice, bro. Band budgets. If you don't have a band budget, expect to be paying out of pocket for every fucking thing that you do. So we realized this years ago, dude, when we were still like, I consider the band, even though it's been since like 2016, we really started in 2021. That's when we put out our first serious EP, buckled the fuck down and said, we're going to take this shit seriously. That's when like the drinking before the shows really stopped. We used to fucking drink jungle juice and all this fucking shit before, play wasted. Shows weren't good. God, my life is dedicated to deleting everything before 2021. And sometimes I found videos and I can't even watch them, dude. I'm like, delete it. But like, we don't drink before shows, all that stuff. Every now and then you will see me with like 2 beers or 3 beers before show. So don't hold me accountable. Don't be like, Nick.
But you're stronger now. You're stronger now.
Stronger.
Yeah, but it's like, you're not out there trying to get wasted. You're just loosening up.
Loosening up, having
it's
a beer.
It's like a beer. It's like a beer or two. I think you'll be fine, especially if you're sipping on water and you ate something
And
before
you've
you
been
showed
drinking
up.
for longer than then.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to get sidetracked. So yeah, like going back to it, the band budgets is big fucking tip. We realized it years ago, like, dudes, why the fuck? Because a lot of these bands, sometimes you play somewhere, you might get $100 maybe, right? Depending on your pool and the alcohol sales and you know how many, all that shit, whatever. Let's say $100, right? You're a 4-piece band or a 5-piece, or no, let's do 4 for the sake of the math. What a lot of these bands like to fucking do is get their 100, and they always have dreams. Oh, we want to play in San Antonio. Oh, we want to play Houston. Okay, well, I'll break down the math for that later. But they get this $100 bill. They split it 4 fucking ways. It's $25 for every band member. And what are they going to fucking spend it on?
Yeah.
McDonald's, Whataburger right after? They're going to pay out their bar fucking tab that they fucking drank up. So they're going to probably spend $15 on the bar tab and another 10 on Whataburger or McDonald's on the way fucking home. That's their $25. And they all did that. So they basically played that show for free. But think about it. You have $100 okay, let me fast forward. Now they want to play in San Antonio. Their next question is, but who's going to pay for gas? How are we going to pay for the hotel? Do we have a friend? We don't have a friend in San Antonio. How much are hotels? Yeah. What do you mean they're $118 a night and they have like fucking, it's like cum-stained beds and shit. That's another thing you have to get used to, motherfucker. You're not
stained beds.
Yeah, you're not staying in a nice fucking hotel.
All right. Welcome to the Budbeg Hotel.
Bed bugs.
Yup. Welcome to the Bedbug Ho fucking tell. Yeah. Get used to it, dude.
A shitty Motel 6 where there's only 1 floor.
Yeah.
No, Motel 6 is good compared to some places.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, fine.
We've stayed with places where we've seen, there's prostitutes and drug dealers just hanging out around.
You just get the Spanish channels and porn.
Yeah. There's people drinking right outside. Everybody's walking. Everybody's like, what's up? And we're like, okay, let's get in here really fucking quick. That way they don't see the gear.
The bathroom looks like you'll get murdered in it.
No.
Yeah.
It's one of those hotels where they go, yeah, we want to stay the whole night?
Yeah.
For some reason, the bathroom is just really dim.
See that's the other trick. Yeah, that's why when you play those shows, you got to go out. You play the show, you get so tired, and then you get drunk. That way, when you come back, you're just numb to where you're sleeping, and the bed bugs, and you're like, none of it matters anymore. I'm so exhausted.
I got 12 bites. So I got one right here on my nipple.
But yeah, man. So going back to
it's like, how do you budget? Like, what's the secret? Like, what do you do with that money
So-
that you make at a show?
So when you say this, when we play shows, we save it. So we have any show that we play, we immediately put it into a budget. We have a band budget. But then from that band budget, we took the hit one time and we bought merch with it. Yeah. So with that merch, right, you're going to make some profit.
You made an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment, but it didn't cost us anything because we already had that budget. We had already kind of been investing without investing, if you kind of
correct.
Yeah. So we bought the merch that created, sold it. That was our band budget. So now we have 2 budgets going. The merch is always, every time we sell it, merch goes into merch. Show what we get paid, through alcohol sales, through ticket sales, all that shit. That goes into the travel budget. So we have the travel budget and the merch budget. And again, we haven't sometimes we'll put in our own money and stuff like that. Like, if we're going to go to San Antonio and they're like, oh, we're only going to pay you $100, fuck it. If we're like, it's a really good fucking show, there's a lot of people, like, it's got
That's an opportunity to sell.
It's an opportunity to sell. And sometimes, you know what? Fuck it. We'll pay for the gas out of pocket. Because, again, what's like 50-ish, $40.
You're just trying to keep it at least balanced, to keep it away from below zero.
Yeah, keep it balanced. And again, we'll get the 100, and then that way we'll take another 100 out of our band budget to pay for the hotel. And maybe if we sell some merch and shit, that'll give us 50. That way it's really only a $50 hit at the end of the day for a trip that might have cost us close to $250. It's going to be 100 for gas both ways, or to and back round trip. It's going to be $100 on gas. Hotel, depending on how many nights you're there, easily $118 for sure. 100-ish.
Like 120 tops after taxes?
Yeah. 120-ish, that's around the range we pay. So it's like those trips are costing you $220. And so these bands, they've been splitting their fucking money on Whataburger and all this shit. But then they don't realize how expensive it is to go out there. And it's like, you might be a no-name band playing with some other no-name bands. You're not going to get $220. Yeah. You're going to get 60, maybe like 80 if the other bands have pity on you. Sometimes they don't, but like, you have to be prepared for those band budgets and be able to put.
I was gonna say like
Whataburger coupons, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Like we're super like into like Taco Bell and all that stuff.
We had somebody say they went all the way to San Antonio to play for Whataburger coupons.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, why would you take? And it's like, was that gig worth it, bro? That's another thing. You have to take fucking gigs that are worth it. Do your homework.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the one thing that's suffering in a lot of young bands. I'm saying specifically young bands.
I love this
because they don't want to. Like I said, I'm a substitute teacher, and I also study teaching. And the one thing that's suffering nowadays is the ability to just want, or the will to actually go and self-teach yourself. Go do some research.
Yeah.
Go look something up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go pour. This city bar called us over in so city. I'm like, is that city highly populated and has a decent amount of income around it? Are you going to actually have people show up?
Yeah.
Do people know who you are there?
It's not even about who do they know who you are there. Did you? It's that stuff. First of all, yeah, that's a great like observation. Like, do people know who you are there? But secondly, it's also like, is the lineup good? It's like,
there's a lot of variables.
You're trying to like feed off of it and see if you can get run off from the other crowd.
Yeah,
it's like if there's a really 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 well known band there and they ask you to come in, okay, then you might have a chance. That's a better opportunity.
But it's also like don't be an asshole about it either. Be friends. Get out there and play shows. I understand that, like, we've taken some shows that were fucking hits, dude. Like, we're like, fuck, why did I do that? But, you live and you learn, right? You have to play to nobody to play to somebody.
I'm going to plug this guy real quick.
Yeah.
The jukebox. So if you want to start and get your first show on the road, just to get yourself started, to get the feel.
Definitely.
Contact this guy. Contact Chris Castillo
Just do
Jukebox
it.
and set
I'm
up your
here
show.
to be taken advantage of.
He's a band slut. He needs some bands on this dance.
Do you want to control the door? Control the door and split it amongst yourselves, guys.
Yup.
It's like, just come in here and do what I haven't done yet because I'm such a pussy.
You'll get
just
there, man.
Just come out and play a show here, and he will gladly accept you, regardless of the genre that you play. Just as he said, be polite, enjoy yourselves, try to help the business itself while you're here performing. He's going to help promote you, and vice versa. Buy a beer, treat your friends out, like, bring them out here and buy them a beer too. Enjoy it.
Hell yeah, man.
And that will reflect well on you, because if you keep coming back, guess what? We'll bring in more people. Like, more people comes in, they notice you, and then someone's gonna be like, hey, I own this other place let's just say it's bigger, and there's always a bigger and better place somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, you know what? That's a chance for you to move on. but you're still welcome here. You have another place to perform.
Yep.
And come back and call this your home. You know.
Yeah, and people start to notice you more and more, and it starts to build into that. You know, that's why you kind of have to take those, like, just get the fuck out there, man. Just get out there and start playing shows.
Well, Nick, you're an awesome dude.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you being on this show, man.
Dude, I love being on this show, bro. I always love handing out, like, fucking, like, if there's someone, like, out there who's, like, young and, like, wanting to start a band, I hope I always fucking love kind of, like, giving the cheat codes that I wish I fucking had when I started. I'm still learning, dude. But there's
actually a YouTuber I recommend, and I'm just throwing it out there because
for sure.
Spectre Sound Studio, SMG.
Yeah, he gives out some great advice.
Glenn Fricker.
Yeah.
He, no nonsense, tells it like it is, and does gear reviews, gives good advice as a band. I think there was one video that was actually my favorite, which was the video on crippling self-doubt.
Yeah.
And how to deal with it, and that's something I need to rewatch, considering our conversations after every episode.
you know what always helps me with that shit is
okay, here we go. Advice for James. Here we go.
Watching your favorite band's very early shows when nobody like knows who the fuck they are. Dude, they're playing the same songs that now tear up fucking crowds, but nobody is like moving. People are just like dead staring them, and they're looking like all fucking awkward on stage. But it just kind of like reminds you, like, oh yeah, like maybe, you know, not every crowd's just gonna be fucking full of energy. Some crowds are gonna be bored and stuff like that. So it's just like knowing those things, and it kind of reminds you, it's like, oh yeah, maybe it's not the songs, or maybe it's not my talent, maybe it's just like, you know, it's just the time of day.
Yeah. Well, hey, that was great advice, and it's just good to hear those things and actually find someone who's willing to open their book to them and say, look, I want you to succeed too, because music is just a gift to be given to just about anyone.
Yeah.
And willing to be explored much as you do with your abilities. So, Nick, thank you for being here. Do you want to plug your shows one more time?
Yeah. I'm Nick from Cannon the Dealers, and we got shows at the Kraken going on May 17th, and then we have the Gremlin and McAllen on May 31st, and then we're going to be back in Brownsville on June 21st at the Short Notice. Short Notice. Go check it out. Buy a shirt or something. Tex Jimenez, great fucking dude, has great fucking fashion sense and finds you some great fucking clothes. He'll get you tripped out.
Man. Again, this podcast is sponsored by the Jukebox Bar.
And James will play a show soon.
Eventually. I'm not saying no.
I'm supposed to back him up. I'm just waiting for him.
We'll get there. And Jenks Productions and Fierce Eagle Tattoo. I'm going to plug Fierce Eagle Tattoo a little more because he's our good friend. He's not out here because he's busy. Because he's
Mr. Mario from the Mario Stillwater Band.
Yep. Best ink in the city. If you're looking for some badass ink, he's done my Magpie. He's done my actually this is actually an album cover from my favorite band.
Sweet.
That he gave me. And I'm dude. He's got the best hand you can get in the business, and just a really all around badass guy. Because we were talking about anime when we came in. He'll let you watch anime while you're getting tatted.
Good.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Are you performing today?
No, I gotta protect my voice, man.
All right,
and
man.
my voice has already been kind of like fucked.
All right, so everyone check out Cannon the Dealers on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Check out their single, Blurry. It's out there right now.
Or even better, guys, go check them out at the Kraken on Saturday.
Too. Exactly.
Go show them some love. Go show the other band some love también.
They got to come on Saturday if they want the performance.
you gotta, what's it?
Marketing strategy right there. That's another one, motherfuckers.
All right. I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for being here at the bar top, and we'll be seeing you later. Actually, hold on. We're gonna let the song play out if I still have it here, and I probably don't because I'm a dumbass.
No, you're not.
No, you're right. I'm much cooler than that.
Me and Chris love you, dude. That's all that matters.
You're loved.
You are loved.
To you.